Hey Soul Surfers, welcome to day 13 of the 30 Days to Self-Love series. Today we are talking about nourishing yourself. And before you go thinking that this is another video about healthy food, well, it is going to be a video about healthy food, but not a video just about healthy food. We're going to talk about other ways to nourish yourself as well. So let's go ahead and dive on in. Welcome back, Soul Surfers. If you're new to this channel and haven't subscribed yet, go ahead and click that subscribe button as well as the notification bell to be notified when new content is posted. And if you wouldn't mind throwing a thumbs up at this video and sharing with your friends so that we can share the self-love, that would be greatly appreciated. So as I mentioned, we're going to be talking about nourishing yourself. So let's start with the obvious, nourishing yourself with healthy foods. Nourishing ourselves with healthy food should just be pretty much a basic foundation of our health, but it's kind of surprising that so many people in today's society do not do that. We have so many processed foods just at the ready, and there's largely a myth going around that processed foods are cheaper than healthy foods. And while dollar for dollar this may be true, eating healthy does not have to be expensive. There are a lot of great stores. Aldi is my favorite. They have amazing produce at awesome prices. So of course, healthy foods includes fruits and vegetables, anything that's living. I particularly like the saying, eat the rainbow, because number one, it gives me a variety of food, and I also love rainbows. But it also reminds me that those foods nourish my different chakras and help heal those chakras. And I'll do a video on chakras sometime as well to get more in depth about that. But these different color foods correspond to the different chakras. For example, beets are really good for the root chakra. Oranges are great for the sacral chakra, and bananas are great for the solar plexus chakra. So there's all these different types of foods that you can incorporate. It goes without saying that these foods are going to give our bodies the fuel, the vitamins, and the nourishment we need and keep our bodies at optimal health and energy. So take a look at your diet and see if there's anything that you can replace. Now, this is not to say that you shouldn't treat yourself and enjoy a treat here and there. This is not a call for complete restriction from the enjoyable things in life. I mean, we are here to enjoy our senses, and I love a good piece of chocolate or a good piece of cake, but this is about really looking at those foods that we eat and limiting the processed ones and replacing with healthier options. When I started nourishing myself more too, I really leaned away from meat for a while. And not every spiritual person is vegetarian and not every spiritual person is vegan. But I did find the theories behind why limiting meat was a good idea on the journey. And that's because there are fear hormones that are trapped in the bodies of those animals as they are losing their lives to feed ours. So what really happens there is that these fear hormones, as they're trapped in the body, when we ingest them, they are released in our body. So at least during the spiritual awakening process, and I know this is about self-love, which I mean, the spiritual awakening journey is about self-love. So I really limited the amount of meat that I ate. What I ended up doing was switching from farm-raised meats to meats that are cage-free, grass-fed, not in those caged areas where they're living a low quality of life. Basically picking foods that are the most humanely raised was the way that I found to nourish my body and especially aid me during my spiritual awakening and self-love. And these nourishing foods have really optimized my energy levels, and I really just feel good in my body having eaten them. Mango, so good. Even making a small change like swapping out one meal a week for a healthy meal, especially if it's a healthy homemade meal, I cannot tell you, if you're cooking for yourself, you are infusing your food with love and care and self-care and really showing yourself that you care about your body. So if you can replace even one meal a week with a healthy homemade meal that includes high vibration foods, you're gonna feel a difference. Another thing about nourishing your body with healthy high vibration foods is that the more that you add them in, you'll start to notice a shift less and less that you're craving those processed foods. That was a shift that I noticed, and it was kind of amazing that it happened. I was pretty skeptical, but starting off with even replacing one meal a day starts that pattern of healthy food, and your body will start to crave those fruits and vegetables and all those other high vibration foods, and eventually you won't even be relying on the processed foods, or sugars. A key factor to nourishing yourself also is when you have these healthy meals and high vibration foods is to sit, even if you're treating yourself, is to sit and enjoy them. Be present. Have your dinner at a dinner table without distractions. No phones, no TV. I play music in the background, but I'm sitting at my dinner table focused on what I'm eating, which number one slows me down and I'm paying attention. I also can notice the signals that are going from my brain to my stomach saying that I'm full. So I'm more cognizant about if I'm feeling full and should stop eating, or if I'm just mindlessly eating while being distracted. Being present while eating changed a lot for me because I found the true pleasure in eating and the true joy in tasting the foods that I was having. So even if I was treating myself with, say, a cookie, I could take a bite or two and just savor that, and that was all I really needed. I wasn't mindlessly, eating a bag of potato chips, sitting one after the other, after the other, after the other. Mindfulness is another very important part of nourishing ourselves. Another key component of nourishing yourself is to stay hydrated. And I know I talk about that all the time on this channel. Staying hydrated is so important. First of all, oftentimes when we think we're hungry, we're really just thirsty. So having enough water is going to regulate our feelings of hunger. So that's always a great suggestion. If you think you're hungry, try having a glass of water before eating to see if that satisfies that hunger that you think you're feeling. As I've talked about before, water is also great for flushing toxins out of your system. This is going to help keep your skin clear, keep your body functioning, your joints moving, all of those things. So drinking water is so, so, so important. I really drink a lot of water. I drink at least one of these a day. Sometimes, depending what's going on emotionally, I will drink up to 2. I think I've drank 2.5 before. There was a lot going on at that time. But water is a key factor in my day-to-day nourishment. A final way that you can nourish yourself is to watch your consumption. And what I mean by consumption here is your consumption of news, your consumption of social media, your consumption of information, basically. So whatever information we have surrounding us, that's getting absorbed into our brains as true. So if you're watching a lot of negative news channels, which honestly most news is negative these days or biased or fear-based, so I don't watch the news myself anymore. If you're watching TV shows that are high drama and chaos, that kind of information is being absorbed into the brain, and that's saying that that's kind of the reality that we want to create. So watching what you're consuming on movies, TV, even in books and magazines is very important to nourishing your mind and your spirit. And to go along with this also, I really want to point out to be very mindful about what you consume immediately before bed, because when our brains are about to go to sleep, it's in the theta state. And the theta state is when our subconscious is really kicking. So a lot of the things that you're absorbing at that time, if you're not mindful about the information you're consuming, is going to be programmed into the subconscious and become part of reality and your truth. So be very mindful immediately before bed, or even falling asleep with the TV on, of what might be on the TV or what's playing on the radio or what information you are absorbing at that time. All right, Soul Surfers, you're up. Let me know in the comments how you like to nourish yourself. What habit are you going to change? Or what is something that you notice now as a way of not nourishing yourself? And how are you going to change that to incorporate more nourishment in your life? Let me know below, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video.